So I came across this hilarious article from I think it's Mashable. This thing is called, yeah, Mashable, and apparently they're talking about how Mindy Kaling has the fans divided. Yeah, like the fans on Velma are very divided. You have people that love it and you have people that hate it. We're so divided. We don't really know how to feel about this show. They made an article saying that, and I think it's the most stupid thing I've ever seen because this is one of the only shows that I can say for certain that pretty much united the world. Like this show, how to feel about this show to the point where we haven't been this united since Pearl Harbor. It's like that kind of a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous to say that fans are divided when you can clearly see the fans are not divided. They're at a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. They're at a 1.3 on IMDb. Like they are literally not divided. So I don't know where they're coming out with this, but we're gonna delve into the article, guys. But of course, before we do, quick reminder, help out the channel, give us a long view duration if you can. Not only that, guys, just a quick reminder, this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, check out Saturday Night Hypnosis, our live stream that we do every single Saturday. We're going to be talking about Velma in depth, so don't miss it, guys. We're trying to reach around 200 concurrent viewers. Last stream, we hit about 140, which was double what we were doing last year, and we did that very quickly, very well, so I appreciate it. It was fantastic, and we're trying to help grow the live stream more and more and more because we have so much fun on the live stream. It's a blast. We laugh. We just make fun of things. It's a great time. So if you're trying to have a good time on a Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, come check us out on Saturday Night Hypnosis. But with that being said, it says, Mindy Kaling's South Asian representation has viewers deeply divided. This says a lot. Kaling's brown girl tropes don't have to be representative of all. So a lot of people are basically saying that South Asians really hate the way Mindy Kaling portrays her characters. And this is something we talked about in a couple videos past. And it's true. Mindy Kaling basically plays herself in every single TV show. It doesn't matter what it is. She just plays herself, right? And Velma is no different. But the thing is, people have a problem with how much she seemingly hates herself when she plays herself. It's a weird thing to see, especially a weird thing to see unfold on screen because you know this person has a history of doing that, and she definitely does it in everything that she plays, and Velma's just another iteration of that, just happens to be animated. Let me make this a little bigger so you guys can follow along. Recall The Office or The Mindy Project, and more recently, Never Have I Ever or The Sex Lives of College Girls. Their common denominator, multi-hyphenate Mindy Kaling, has created a handful of South Asian characters for these shows, some of whom she played herself. These female characters are often outspoken, sex-obsessed, self-deprecating, and occasionally lack interest in or knowledge of their cultural roots. And if Twitter and TikTok have anything to say recently, these on-screen figures are not the representation they asked for. Well, isn't that something we talk about all the time too? How this whole fake diversity, equity, inclusion nonsense that they do in Hollywood is not true actual representation of the people that they're trying to represent. Like just look at Miles Morales' Thor, for example. We use that all the time as just a spot-on, amazing, hypocritical, completely self-deprecating comic book that when you look at it, it's like, wow, somebody actually really wrote this. They thought black people would like this. It's ridiculous. Like you made a Thor that can literally only speak in raps. You gave Thor Air Jordans. You put graffiti on his hammer. I mean, come on. Like, what are you doing? And it's the same thing here with Velma. You know what I mean? And the characters that Mindy Kaling plays. It says, in the days following the release of HBO Max and Kaling's Scooby-Doo spin-off Velma, a flood of criticism pointed to Kaling's body of work, South Asian characters, and ideals of representation. People posted clips from Velma at first hitting back at the show's jokes written about Velma Dinkley's body hair and Indian desserts. One TikToker said South Asian girls deserve better. Another said Velma feels like a setback in so many ways. Many of the series' one-liners have been touted as tired portrayals of what it means to be South Asian on Western television. Attention has since turned to Kaling's previous works. Characters like Devi Vishwakumar, I can't even say that, and Bella Malhotra are now being critiqued in hindsight. Viewers are honing in on dialogue and scenes in which young girls, young brown immigrant daughters, either question their physical appearances or resent their backgrounds. Now, it's amazing to me that she has such an obsession with white people that it seems like she hates her own people. It's kind of strange, you know, and a lot of people are catching on to this, and I assume the South Asians are catching on more than others because obviously they notice these things more. They're seeing themselves played on screen, so they're noticing the tropes and the stereotypes and all that about them. So, yeah, it's pretty insulting when someone like Mindy Kaling, who is supposed to be on your side, supposed to be, you know, part of your culture, is completely crapping all over your culture and having no care whatsoever whatsoever about how it's represented on screen. And we say this all the time when it comes to this fake diversity thing. Mindy Kaling is the exact example of that. Mindy Kaling hangs out with mostly white people most of the time. I would guarantee she doesn't hang out with her own people. I doubt it, aside from maybe her family. Even at best, I doubt it too, because her boyfriends have always been white. Her kids are half white. So she hangs out mostly around white people. So she is literally hating herself more and more every single day, to the point where it almost seems like, if you guys notice too, the pictures of Mindy Kaling, when she was younger, she was much darker. And as she got older, she lightened up heavily, if you guys notice. I don't know if she was accused of like melatonin treatments or anything like that, but apparently she's lightened her skin quite a bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if her obsession with white people has completely taken over her life, to the point where she hates her own people. Without question, Kaling's characters share noticeable traits that vary but don't stray far from being insecure and unsure of oneself. They waver, attempting to balance their parents' expectations, their view of themselves, and their need for validation. They struggle to place themselves in the predominantly white settings they find themselves in. Kaling's comedy in this regard is distinctive. Throughout, Indian culture and traditions are peppered within these works as punchlines and obstacles. It isn't hard to see why such narratives of drawing chagrin from South Asian viewers, many of whom are tired of seeing such tropes rehashed for millions to watch. And yet, this backlash appears to be targeting a single South Asian writer, one who has become prominent in the wider landscape of TV production and reached tangible success with her work. Now, the thing is, if people had so much critique over how she represents South Asian characters, I don't remember seeing much backlash about this with her other characters. It seems like only now, since Velma is in such a negative light, that people are like, whoa, this is too much. This has gone too far. We need better representation. We need better this, better that. But nobody was really talking about it too much that I can remember with her previous characters, but I could be wrong, of course. But yeah, it just seems like since Velma is such a trash heap, that's the reason why people all of a sudden want to speak up, because it's too far gone at this point. Critiques of Kaling's characters allude to a dearth of characters of color and writers of color behind them. As some other outlets have pointed out, BuzzFeed called her peerless. IndieWire writes that there's a clear demand for numerous, nuanced South Asian characters. Kaling is a product of a time when she was one of few, likely being asked to draw caricatures and oftentimes writing for the white gaze. Kaling has undeniably increased frequency and prominence of South Asian women on TV. Now, Kaling's characters like her are grappling with being on screen where they have not existed historically as heroines in the spotlight. It is this ingrained issue, perhaps even this pressure, that is leading to heightened scrutiny. Shout out to BuzzFeed and IndieWire for being able to turn something like this, of Mindy Kaling apparently hating herself, into some sort of white supremacy thing. You know what I mean? Like, they're always able to spin it to some sort of like it's the white man's fault sort of a thing. Like, oh yeah, we're writing stories for the white gaze, like the white gaze is all that mattered clearly in movies and comic books and TV and all that stuff before. Only the white gaze. Nobody else liked that stuff. It was all only made for white people. That's what they basically try to do. And they like to bring up, oh, yeah, existed historically as heroines. Yeah, historically speaking. Yeah, they love bringing that stuff up. The conversation also stops short of taking a holistic view as some of the larger storylines within Kaling's works. For instance, Never Have I Ever features characters like Devi's mother, Nalini, and her cousin Kamala, who each offer a different take on what it looks like to be a brown woman. So what I'm ultimately getting from this, guys, is that people just are not happy, essentially, with Mindy Kaling's representation. And like I said, they're basically trying to blame her for the brown girl tropes that are happening at Hollywood right now. And I doubt it's just her. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say she might be, but I'm sure it's not just her. But my issue is that if you didn't really have a problem with it before, at least I didn't see too much articles written about it before, why are you having a problem with now? I would imagine it's because Velma is at a 6% Rotten Tomatoes, and there's so many people talking about that a lot of South Asian people are worried that since there's so many people talking about it, that it's going to further increase the stereotypes about South Asians, and it's going to further increase the divide that they feel between Hollywood and themselves. So that's what I think is happening here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.